Welcome, everyone, to episode 3 of Searching for the Lost, our Zombieland Losing is Fun playthrough. We're going to be building a tailoring bench to start getting some new clothes for the group. We also had to queue up some mining. We're still working on the walls. I wish that the colony was progressing with those a little bit more quickly, but we've been doing a lot of hunting, which is very good. Starting to stockpile food. Also need to make our art bench still from last time. Everyone's in pretty good shape except for LK, who's got a little bit of a mood due to their rejected proposal for marriage with Cav. And we get our first zombie attack for this episode on the night of the 6th of August. I'm going to have 52 zombies to take out. Shouldn't be too bad, but let's bring our people into position. Leaving behind LK and Granny and Green, mostly because of LK's mood, they're staying behind. Granny and Green because they are melee fighters and higher risk for a zombie bite. Making sure that they target the zombies that are in the front, that are aggressive and have quicker speed first. I decide to bring Granny out to join the shooters. I'm hoping to maybe extract some zombie serum this time, since we don't have very much of that in our storage. The zombie noises are so good. Some of the zombies appear to be taking a little bit of a north route. They might be going into our base since our walls are not yet finished. Have to make sure Granny is unrestricted so they can extract serum. Since I did set on emergency alert mode from Better Pawn Management, they would have been defaulted back to the home zone when I undrafted. Making sure our shooters keep Granny safe while Granny does extract. Let's try to have Granny extract from the area where there aren't a lot of zombies, not from the middle of the zombies. Gotta bring Granny back in for a moment. Gotta make sure Granny's safe. Appears that the shooters won't target this electric glowy one. So it's a good thing we do have Granny here. See, as I force target on the glowy one, they do not shoot at all. So I have to make sure that I switch them to another zombie for targeting. Bringing Granny back out because I believe Granny will have to take out that electrified one. Yes, looks like Granny will have to take out the electrified one. So let's have Granny melee attack that individual zombie. Granny's pretty good at melee, but has a passion for it and will level up a lot. Go ahead and continue extracting Granny, and we will continue taking out. We brought Green Squid and LK out of the base to help deal with the zombies that have made it close to our home. And since Green is melee, same thing. Probably going to let them go back inside and have LK do most of the work. We do have turrets around the base as well, if you may recall. We took out all the zombies over on this side, so now it's just the few that are next to the base. Let's make sure we're extracting. So LK is shooting at the last few that are here. Help. The turrets and the searchlight are definitely helping. LK is not the strongest shooter and only equipped with a revolver. There we go. Lanes is here. Lanes is going to help take the rest of them out. And there's only one left, so I just bring Lanes into position to shoot the last zombie. Another zombie raid successfully managed. Very good. Green's doing a little bit of extracting. Thank you for that, Green. We have a bunch more zombies here from this time than our prior zombie raids. Going to encourage a little bit of wall building by having our non-constructors do some delivery of blocks. Should help speed up the process a little bit. Okay, still stressed out. Now we have Emor with a little bit of a mood. Now, major break risk on LK. We finished solar panel research on the 7th of August. Going to queue up, I think, smithing next. Power situation is a lot better, so making sure that all of our coolers are turned on. And we get a psychic soothe for our female colonists. Very nice. Hopefully that will help with LK's mood, bringing LK out of that major break. And the 8th of August, you know, standard stuff. I'm queuing up some hunting. Got to make sure that we're keeping our food stockpiles high since we do have a lot of colonists. I also double check who's assigned to hunt and whether or not they're going to have the time to do it. Looks pretty good. Green is doing some stone cutting for us. This time I forced them to do some, just to make sure we're progressing with those walls. Making some kibble for our animals. Also another thing we need to keep track of. We need food for both ourselves and our 3 animals. And I'm going to create a hauler zone for Baxter. Baxter has officially been trained to haul, so we definitely want to make use of that skill. But we're still going to keep Baxter out of the kitchen, so they're going to be helping with some hauling, but not all hauling. Decide to let Baxter haul from the entire area inside the walls, since they can help us with hauling chunks in and maybe even some resources that we mine. It'll be very useful. So go ahead, Baxter. Have free reign. Well, almost free reign. Cav is working on more wall. We're getting really close. This entire left side is done. Emor is wrapping up over there. So since we are getting very close, I think it is time to build out some more wall, but this time I'm going to build it with extra doors to be used in fighting. Places where we can stand to do some shooting. Granny wishes to change her look. Okay, we can work on that. Our dining room is starting to get a little bit packed with production equipment, and I think it's a good idea to work on a dedicated recreation/ritual room. I'm starting with just the marble walls. The next day, we get a trader. A slave trader. Interesting. Emor has the highest skill at the present time, so going to have Emor do the trading. And they don't have that much that interests me. Maybe the links, but I don't think we should really spend our money on that. They do have some medicine. Maybe we can trade some smoke leaf and Twinkies to get their good quality medicine. And a little tiny bit of silver. Transport pod crash. Oh, this is a quest because of the paralytic abasia. Interesting. This is a risk, but I think I'm going to accept it. We brought Wiley in. Wiley is obviously incapacitated, but is passionate about melee, mining, intellectual shooting, and social, and a much better socialite than anyone we have. So I think they'll be pretty handy in the colony. Psychic Soothe is ending. We have a glowstone mod, so I'm going to build a nice glowstone chandelier over the dining room table. And I'm considering adding our moral guide to the colony, but we need clothing for them. We also get some cargo pods with ruined lavish meals. We'll take it. So our moral guide needs both a hood and a cape. And we're going to queue those up as the first items on our tailoring bench. And we finished the last of our outer walls with the exception of the area where we intend to fight. So let us go ahead and make Granny our moral guide for the colony. Granny has okay social skill, spends a lot of time researching, and I don't know, it just seems to me like Granny is a really fitting person for this role. Also, look at Granny in that hood. It just works. Social is 5, but they are passionate about it. Gonna queue up some artwork for LK to work on. I think that'll really help with some of the mood issues to get some nice decor items into the base. I'm gonna start with large bone sculptures. Thought about wood, but we just don't have a ton of it right now, so bone is a better idea. Maybe some marble as well. LK has a 13. We're going to make sure that LK is the only one. And let's just stick with the bone since we have so much bone. We're almost done with the cape and the hood, so we can queue up a few more clothing items. Thinking about the fact that Wiley is going to need some clothing once they get up. And we finish smithing as well. Let's move on to machining research next. We're now at the 10th of August, continuing on our nice dining / ritual room. These outer walls are going to be with granite. The inner walls are going to be made with marble. That will be the plan for the entirety of the base. So, as you can see, I intend to use the marble wall for an inner wall, but right now it's an outer wall. And of course, we got to make sure Granny puts on the cape so Granny does not have a mood debuff for wearing the incorrect apparel. Green is already working on more clothes, and we get a siege. Oh my gosh. Okay, we don't have mortars, so we're gonna have to go out and fight them directly. We don't want them mortaring our base. They have some pretty good weapons. They have Molotovs, an assault rifle, a few guns that would be nice to get our hands on. Let's hope for the best. I'm not bringing out Green at this time. As we've noted before, Green is not very much of a fighter, which is the main reason they equipped a knife instead of anything else. They're not nonviolent, but they are very low skilled. Okay, once I get people closer, I decide that the best cover that we have is stone chunks. So let's use the stone chunks for as much cover as we can get. Let's bring LK and Granny over here. Granny is a melee, remember that. And let the fighting begin. Emor is not in range with their weapons, so we have to bring them closer. Also have to bring Ferenz a little bit closer. Granny is definitely taking some shots. I'd like to get this Molotov person down. Perfect. We got the Molotov person down. And Granny's getting pretty beat up, so I tried to have Granny retreat, but it is too late. Granny is downed. Hopefully we can take out the rest of the people or have them flee before Granny bleeds out. Let's bring Squid down to try to help rescue, since we already know we have one person down. They're assaulting the colony. That doesn't really matter. They're not going to assault the colony. They're going to assault us. LK's now taking a lot of shots. For some reason, they seem to be targeting LK specifically, probably range. Can I have LK kite? Oh, LK is very slow. Now LK is down, and they want to kidnap who they can and leave. Okay, we're not going to let you kidnap Granny and LK. So how do we do this? Let's bring them closer, since they're going to be moving towards the edge of the map. Let's bring our colonists closer in. They picked up LK and Granny immediately, of course, and they're still aggroed. They're still attacking us, so we need to try to make sure that we are targeting the individuals that have our colonists. Little hard to do because we're getting into melee range with some of them, but Emor and Lanes are still in position to help with shooting. Cav is now in a good position to help with shooting the kidnappers, and we get the individual that is holding LK. We're able to rescue LK. One of these is downed and not bleeding out. Patty, 10 in mining. They're a slowpoke and undergrounder, which is a little rough, but I do like that mining skill and passion. So let's queue up some prison spots in our beekeeping room, since that's the only room. And we take out the one that is stealing Granny. We're able to have them flee, so now we just need to make sure to rescue our colonists who have been downed and capture Patty. I really want this assault rifle, and obviously I don't want to lose our mono sword, so let's haul some of these items in urgently. We can strip crews since they are not dead and rescue Granny. Let's haul some more things urgently. We're getting some components out of this, some reinforcement barrels, silver, as well as some high explosive shells and a few Twinkies. Also, we're going to get some cloth out of this and some uranium. Not too shabby. I'm not going to complain about that. Green is here. I'm going to have Green help with putting out some fires. Like I said, I really want that assault rifle, and the fire is pretty close, so we would need to make sure that we are putting out some of the fires. The folks that are already dead, we should make sure we double tap, and anyone that is downed, we strip for their clothes, put them out, and then double tap. You have to double tap because otherwise they'll turn into zombies. Ooh, and Patty lost both of her tibias. Okay, Patty's going to get some peg legs eventually. Fun stuff. Good thing we're working on machining. Prosthetics will probably be next. Granny has a lot of damage. We're going to administer some tea, hoping that Granny will feel the benefits of that. But Granny is recovering. That's it for today's episode. You'll have to tune in for our next episode of Searching for the Lost to see what happens next. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.